ట్రై చేయండి. అట్లీస్ట్ ఏదో ఒక స్కీమాతో ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి. చేయలేకపోతే కనుక నేను మీకు టేబుల్స్ అవన్నీ స్క్రిప్ట్ పంపిస్తా. ఓకే ఓకే. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద టార్గెట్ లోడ్ ఆర్డర్? వాట్ ఈస్ టార్గెట్ లోడ్ ఆర్డర్? దేవేందర్, what is target load order? Devender, what is target load order?
It's maybe a staging area of mapping.
That is not the target load order, right? That is the staging location hint, right?
Yes.
Then what is target load order?
Flow data, these are the flow data, integration data, final target, error data, these are.
That is the interface execution flow, right?
Yeah.
See here it is what is target load order?
More than one target table in mapping.
Yes, if we have more than one target table in the mapping, so we need to specify the order in which the tables is going to load. What is $C table? What is $C table?
Source to staging area.
Source to staging area. What is this default staging location?
Target.
So the target servers work schema. Okay. Target servers work schema. So what is $I table? So who is responsible for creating $C, $I and
Developer.
who is responsible for
knowledge models. Knowledge model
responsible for executing the mappings. Okay. Knowledge modules. So now we have. So what is logical mapping and what is the physical flow? So this is the logical and the physical. Okay, so now let's see the logical map is nothing but the data flow from source to target. We have seen the logical flow. So in the logical flow, we did not specify any knowledge modules. In logical flow of mapping, we are not specifying any knowledge modules. We are not specifying any knowledge modules because knowledge modules are specified only in the physical knowledge module only. So in the logical flow, so we will use the components for designing our mapping. In the logical flow, we will create a mapping. So here, so using these circles, what is this circle called? Connector points. So using these connector points, we will match the data from source to target. So now here we have a mapping. Okay, so what is the mapping executes? The default. So how the mapping is going to execute? What are the three levels for mapping execution? So there are the three possibilities to execute a mapping. What are that?
Source, storing, staging. Source, staging, target.
Source, staging, target. So based on that one, we can specify the mapping and everything. So that's up to our imagination. So where to specify a mapping and everything, we will create that in the staging. Okay. So now we have seen the logical one. So now we are going to see the so the physical mapping. So here the target load order and staging location, and this is the target table. So we can control the target properties. So the insert, update, and check not none. So what is this in key? Key indicates whether that particular column is a insert or key is a primary key or not. And insert and update is to specify the data we are inserting this table, yes or no. That is for insert, only for insert, or only for update. That is for the update. If you want to update only, we can remove this insert part. If you want to delete only, so there is no option. So we can do it. Everybody is clear about up to this class? Everybody is clear up to this class? Yes?
Yes.
So now the go to the physical one. So the physical flow, it's automatically created by Oracle. Okay. So what are the main components of the physical flow? Right? So the physical flow main components are source group and target group. Okay, the physical flow, physical mapping. the physical implementation. So the mapping implementation divided into two parts. So this is 12C and A. This is 12C. If anybody was asking the mapping implementation physical logical, there is no physical and logical in the 11. Okay, mapping implementation divides into two parts. So one is logical and the second one is the physical. So in the logical we will develop maps by using components. These components will be used for transformations. Okay, so the logical is done. So the physical will be automatic. ODI automatically generates the physical based on the logical. ODI automatically generates physical implementation based on the logical. Based on logical implementation. Okay, so based on logical. So the implement, it's automatically generated. In the physical implementation, we will attach all the knowledge modules required for the mapping. So in the physical implementation is mainly responsible for code generation. So the physical implementation is mainly responsible. Code generation. So here in physical implementation, we will specify the knowledge module. Okay, so each flow. So what are the three flows? Extract data from the source to loading knowledge module. This is the first step. And the flow tables data load into integration table by applying the transformation. So here source to $, $, to $, to final targets. Okay, so now this is the flow, the basic flow here. This is the flow. Okay, $, to $, source to $. So the source to $, is called as the loading knowledge module's responsibility. So that is the one we are extracting. $, to $, staging. So this stage, so this is called as loading data from source to $. $, $, and $, tables will be created on the targets. Okay, so one important point is, so the staging tables, $, $, and $, tables will be created on target server. The target server's work schema. So how do you know this work schema? We will get this work schema in the physical section of the work schema, the physical implementation of the work schema. So source to $. So this step is called as this is responsible for LKM. So the load knowledge module. LKM stands for the load knowledge module is responsible for extracting data from sources to staging area. Staging's $, table. So now, so here this is important. The source to LKM. LKM is responsible for extracting data from source to staging area. So this is the one. Okay, so we need to make sure the proper. Okay, so responsible for source to staging area. So who is responsible for $, to $, and $, to and target. $, to target. So this is done by IKM. So the integration knowledge module. So the IKM stands for integration knowledge module. Please note down this one. okay, is responsible. Responsible for the final applying transformations and integrating data. Is responsible for $C to $I and then to final target table. This is very important, and final target table. Sometimes, so ODI is automatically selects the. So sometimes, if source and targets are the same database with a different schema, okay, so then this some of the steps will be eliminated by Oracle to make a faster load, the faster data load. Okay, some of the steps will be eliminated. $C to $I because both source and target are on the same database machine. If it is on the same database machine, so different schema only. So then these steps are not required for all the stuff. Okay, so now, so the LKM, IKM. Okay, if you need a data quality check, and constraint validations, database constraints, and okay, the primary key, data validation, data quality rule, the constraints. If you need data quality check and the constraints validation, okay, so we need CKM. CKM is called as the check knowledge module. The check knowledge module. If you need the data quality, I want to validate the data before loading into the tables. So that can be done with the CKM. So I want to validate the data. If you don't want the validate, so then CKM is not required. So if you see, the CKM is responsible for loading data into EDAL. Okay, so the CKM means the check knowledge module is responsible. Error records into $E table. $E table is the CKM is responsible for all the error management records into $E table. Okay, so now in the physical implementation is responsible for the code generation. We will specify the knowledge module. So based on these 5 lines, so how many knowledge modules a minimum required for the mapping execution? So the minimum knowledge modules required for the mapping is so the minimum knowledge modules required. Required for each mapping are, so one is LKM and IKM, and third one is optional CKM. Why I'm saying is optional is if you want validate, if you don't want to validate the data, CKM is not required. So the LKM is called as a load knowledge module from source to staging area. Source to staging area. The staging area in the sense is the staging areas $C table, $C. So IKM is responsible, one more time I'm writing. So the $C to $I and $I to and final target table. Final target table. IKM is responsible for $C to $I. The CKM is the check knowledge module. So we have other knowledge modules. What are the other knowledge module? The service knowledge module and the reverse engineering RKM. We have seen this one. Okay, so RKM is a reverse engineering knowledge module, and the LKM is a load knowledge module. IKM is integration knowledge CKM. So this SKM, JKM, and RKM are the different functionality that we will see in a later classes. For each mapping, we need to set this LKM, IKM, and CKM. Let's see. Okay, so where can we set optional CKM? Why I am saying it is optional? It's based on your requirement. Do you want to set the validation or not? Okay, so now let's see the physical implementation. The physical implementation of a mapping contains two parts. Map divides two parts, contains two parts. Map mainly divided into two parts. Two parts. What are the two parts? So one is source group and the target group. The target group. The source group means all the data store will be used the source data groups. Source data stores and source data stores. That means what are the tables we used as a source? See here the source group. Okay, these are the target group. That means the target tables. The source tables, data stores, that is the source tables. Source tables, the source group. So the target group is a target tables and any other ODI mapping components. What are the mapping components we have? So the mapping components are this one. So the aggregate, dataset, distinct, expression, filter, join, that we will see in our next example. So the mapping, so this is this one. Okay, so now let's see. So now the general properties of a physical map. Okay, please observe carefully each by step. So here I am not selected the source group and I am not selected the target group. So this is the general properties of a mapping. So general physical properties of a mapping. Okay, so now let's see. We will see the one by one. Please note down. So what is the name? This is the name I'm giving. Any name you can give, any physical name. And one important point is, so one logical map can have a multiple physical implementations. I am noting one point I'm writing here. Okay, so now here I'm writing note. Okay, so one logical map can have multiple physical implementation. So one logical map can have a multiple physical implementation. So because we can have the multiple one. Let's see first. So the important point is, so the physical map, this is the name. You can give any name to this physical map, and this is the description. You can give the, I'm saying here is a, so the map is, so the map underscore table to table example with the physical one. So the physical. So just I've given the name as the physical. So that indicate the mapping execution. Okay. So now the description is any give description. Let's forget about the optimization context now. Okay. So preset staging location. So what is the staging location? If you don't specify anything, it takes the target one. Okay, but don't specify this one. So if you specify a preset staging location, so the staging location is nothing but the default staging location of a mapping. So I'm not setting anything. The source units. Okay, so the source unit, staging unit, and then target unit. So this is nothing but this is the inner part. The yellow one is a source group, and this inner part is a source unit. Okay, so this source unit, the source unit in the sense is this employee table is coming from which logical schema. So that means this logical schema points to a single physical schema. So this is the logical LS Oracle host source HR unit. So that means this table, okay, this is the table from which logical schema. And then, so what is the staging units? What is the default staging? So we specified default staging as a target. And what is the target unit. The target unit is nothing but a, so the target connection information, target connections logical schema. Everybody is clear? Source unit, staging units, and target units. Everybody is clear these 3 points? Yes or no, please?
Yes, sir.
Devendra.
Can you repeat once again?
Yes, sir.
Can you repeat once again, please?
Yeah. The source unit, staging units, and target unit. The source, from where we are extracting the source. See, the source group and target group. The source group is again has an inner blue color box that is called as a source unit. The source unit means, so the logical schema of the sources. The logical schema of a sources. So what is the logical schema of this table? So the logical schema of this table is, in the general characters you will see this one. ls oracle localhost source underscore HR. When it comes to the physical, so it appended a underscore unit. That means the single execution unit. Okay, ls oracle localhost. That means, so this part is executing using this source connection, ls oracle localhost source unit. Similarly, what is the staging location and what is a target unit? Everybody is clear? Yes or no, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now please observe this command. Okay, so now begin mapping command for technology, and location for mapping command. Begin mapping command and begin mapping command technology, begin mapping command location. So what is this begin mapping command? Okay, so now before executing this mapping, I want to execute this mapping, but before executing this mapping, I want to execute some other code. Okay, please observe carefully. What is this begin mapping command, begin mapping technology, and begin mapping the location? So so now before executing this mapping, before executing this map, I want to execute some code. Okay, I want to execute some code. It can be any technology. Okay, so I want to execute some code. It can be a see here. Okay, so the technology can be any technology. For example, before executing this command, I want to drop index ind name. For example, this is the command I want to execute. So this is the command I want to drop index. Okay, this index belongs to Oracle. So this command, and then where do you want to execute this command? I want to execute this command on a target. So what does this mean? Before executing this command, before executing this mapping, I'm dropping this index, this syntax. This command is Oracle technology. Oracle technology. And so this command is going to execute on which schema? So ls oracle localhost target ODI target. So I'm selecting the logical schema. The logical schema means indirectly executes on the physical one. So the mapping command, so the mapping technology and the location. Where do you want to execute that command? That is the part. So sometimes we may have to execute certain code. I want to execute some code to begin mapping command and the technology for the begin mapping and the location for begin mapping command. Everybody is clear? Yes or no, please? Yes or no, please? Sir, Adamainda, begin mapping command technology. Technology means what technology it is. So this command belongs to which technology? Is it Oracle, or it is a ODI tool, or it is a OWB, or it is a PostgreSQL, or it is a SAP, or it is a Teradata, or it is a XML, or it is a Java, or anything can be possible. Okay, so where do you want to execute this command? So this command is of Oracle technology and execute this command on this location. So what is this location? And the logical schema, because we always specify the logical schema only. During the execution, ODI gets the physical information from this logical schema. Everybody is clear? This is very, very important. This is the new feature in 12C. This feature is not available in ODI 11 and 10. ODI 11 and 10, this feature is not available. Okay, everybody is clear? Yes or no, please? Okay, so the drop index name, and Oracle and ls Oracle localhost and target underscore ODI target. Now similarly after end of the mapping, so after చెప్పండి.
Drop index name is we can give a technology MySQL also.
Yes, MySQL also, but we have to give as per your target.
Okay.
This is the, see what is this target, right? So based on you have to give the target. Okay.
Okay.
Here MySQL is there, and here you have to give the MySQL location here, because I don't have any MySQL technologies in my topology, right?
Yeah, only Oracle technology.
We have only Oracle as of now. We have only file in memory and Oracle. So if you have a MySQL technology, we can give. See here, if you create a MySQL technology, it is MySQL here. Yes, if you have MySQL, you can give the command. First you have to create a physical schema and then logical schema, and then we can use this command in the Oracle. Okay, let's delete this. I don't have anything. Okay, similarly, end mapping command, end mapping technology, and then the location. Okay, so now, so these are the first. Similarly, begin mapping command, we can execute the end mapping also. End mapping means at the successful completion of the mapping, we can execute a certain code. After successful completion of the mapping, we can execute. See, we dropped this command, right? So we dropped an index. See here, drop index name. We dropped it. So after creation, after completion of mapping, I'm creating an index. Index name. I'm dropping creating an index. So I'm dropping and I'm creating after successful mapping. So these are the very important commands, and it is available from only 12C only. We don't have anything in the 11C. Okay. So now this is the location. Where do you want to execute this locations command? Location means where do you want to execute this command? So that means in which logical schema. Which logical schema means indirectly which physical schema. Okay. So now remove temporary objects on error. So what are the temporary objects? The temporary object means, so during the mapping execution, ODI creates $C table, I table, and E table. Okay, and it creates some indexes also, temporary indexes. So do you want to drop those tables, yes or no? So if you check this box, so those tables will be dropped. Those tables will be dropped. Everybody is clear? So those temporary objects, the remove temporary objects means, so the temporary objects, whatever temporary objects it creates during the mapping execution, so those temporary objects will be dropped on error. On successful, those temporary objects will be dropped. So we have seen this one example in the last class. See here, after completion of the mapping, these tables will be dropped automatically. We can control this behavior. We can keep those objects. But see, after completion of the mapping, so after successful completion, those tables will be dropped automatically. But what I am saying here is, do you want to do this even though it is an error or not? If you want to drop these objects, we can drop those objects during the error operations. Okay. Use unique temporary objects for the names. Let's keep this separate name. Okay, so what is this use unique temporary objects name? That means, so every time ODI creates these tables, do you want to give unique name to the table or not? Do you want to give unique temporary names to the table or not? So if you give this checkbox, it always gives the unique names for every run. Unique names for every run. Okay, is frozen, just keep this separately. That I will discuss in the following classes. Everybody is clear? The important point, the general properties in the physical, the first level of the physical mapping. Everybody is clear, please? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no, please let me know before going into the further steps.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Devinder, Abhiram, Rohit, Shashank, Shrikar, everybody is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. So this is the one. So the now next step is to, so these are the source. Okay, we have to give a knowledge modules to this. See here, ODI knowledge modules are responsible. Logical flow, we are not specifying any language. So the map in the physical ODI automatically generate the physical mapping implementation. We will specify the knowledge modules. We will specify the knowledge modules. Okay, now let's see, where do you specify the knowledge modules? Before specifying, before giving any knowledge modules, before developing any projects or something. Okay, so before project start or mapping start, project or mapping development start. Development start. So we need to import necessary knowledge module. So we need to import knowledge modules. Before project or mapping development, we need to start knowledge modules import. Knowledge modules needs to be imported. How did you import knowledge modules? So here we will loading knowledge module, right click here and then import knowledge module. Let's see. So here right click here and import knowledge modules. Okay, right click and import now. If you want to import the reverse engineering knowledge module, right click here and import knowledge module. And to check knowledge modules, right click here and import knowledge module. And integration knowledge module, right click and import knowledge module. And generalizing knowledge module, right click and import knowledge module. And the service knowledge module, import. So any knowledge module can be imported before use. Okay, now let's see. So I'm not importing any knowledge module. Why? Then we'll see. Okay, so now where do you specify a knowledge module? So let's see. Okay, so here source to staging area. So now select this particular staging area. Okay, so now the source to staging area. The first thing is first step is to set the LKM. So the load knowledge module. So where do you specify the load knowledge module? Okay, so now here the select this circle. So the inner part. So this is the target area. Select this part. So here, if you see here, general, it is a component. So employees underscore component and everything. So now here it is, see here attributes. So here are the attributes and here the knowledge module. So the loading knowledge module. So the load knowledge modules. Load knowledge modules will be specified here. So the loading knowledge module. And integration knowledge module will specify here. If you select the target, final part, the final part in the beginning before the target group will specify the loading knowledge module, and here we can specify a integration knowledge module under CKM knowledge module under check knowledge module. Okay, everybody, here there is no check knowledge module. I did not specify any check knowledge module. With the integration, it's already specified. Then we will see. Okay, everybody, is it clear? Where do you specify the knowledge modules and everything? Where do you specify the knowledge modules and everything is clear to everyone? Yes or no? Okay, so now, did we import any knowledge modules? No, we have not imported any knowledge modules, right? We have not imported any knowledge modules. And one thing is, without assigning knowledge modules, our mapping will not run. Before assigning knowledge module, your mapping will not run. Okay, let's see. So, but here, if you select here in the load knowledge module, it's already specified. What is this? LKM Oracle to Oracle, LKM to Oracle to Oracle, LKM SQL multi-connect, SQL to SQL global. Okay, so these are all the predefined knowledge modules. Okay, so these are all the predefined knowledge modules we already have. Okay, so now let's see. So the knowledge module starting from ODI 12C, starting from ODI 12C, ODI 12C. So the knowledge modules, KMs are main categories, mainly divides into two categories, not types, two categories, into two categories. So one is component style and the second one is a template based. Template style knowledge module. So the component style and the template style. So these template style knowledge modules needs to be imported. So which can be modified. So the template knowledge modules needs to be imported, which can be modified. So here the component style knowledge modules is no need to import, which cannot be modified. So we cannot modify the template component style knowledge modules. These are the compiled code. These are just like a compiled code kind of thing. Compiled knowledge modules. Okay, these are compiled knowledge modules. So the every mapping, these modules will be automatically selected for the most specified technologies. Only these are the predefined one. The predefined which can be used. For example, let's say, see, it's already there. See, did we specify any knowledge module? No, but it's already there. LKM, Oracle to Oracle. But here it is there. So the integration knowledge module is Oracle insert knowledge module. It's already there. Knowledge modules, Oracle insert knowledge module is already there. Everybody is clear? Okay, basically it's a component style and a template style. So whatever we are importing, those are all called as the template style. The template style. Okay, so those can be imported and those can be modified. We can modify those knowledge modules, but component style knowledge modules cannot be modified. So this is the predefined one. We can select those knowledge modules. It's automatically selected by Oracle based on your code. Everybody is clear? Everybody is clear, please. We will see. We have another 5 or 6 classes on the mappings. Okay. Once we are done with all these properties and everything classes, we will have so they continues the direct development of the mapping. Everybody is clear? Devendra, Rohit, Shashank, Shrikar, Abhidam. Yes or no, please?
Yes, sir.
Please respond, other people.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now these knowledge modules can be imported and can be executed. We don't need. Every knowledge module has a certain options. Template style. Knowledge module has a options. KMs has options. Okay, using these options, we can control the code generation and execution. Using these options, we can control code generation and execution. We can control the ODI code generation and execution. So those are called as the knowledge module options. See here. So now I'm selected this part. This part is nothing but a load knowledge module. Selected the node knowledge. See here. These are all the knowledge module options we have for this one. What are the options? Select from source view. Okay. Add driving site hint and source access DB link and use staging table. So these are all the knowledge module options. Use default. Do you want to execute this default or not? Okay. So what is the value? So select from source view false. False means so the knowledge module options. The knowledge module options we can control the code execution. Can control this code execution. These are the possible values we can give this for this knowledge modules true or false. Okay, we can control this operations knowledge module. Now let's go to the target knowledge module. Integration knowledge module have these are the options we have. Okay, insert hint. what are the hint we are passing? Let's keep the default one, the select hint, extraction hint for querying the source tables. Okay, if we have a performance issue on the selecting, so we can improve the performance of the selection by passing this hint. Okay, create target table false. That means, okay, this table is already there in the database. We don't need to create it. But if the table is not there, we can create the target table. In the knowledge module, integration knowledge module, if we specify a create target table true, that means ODI creates this table on the target. Okay, so I'm controlling the operations. That means, so I'm telling that I don't have the target table, just create the target table. False. Okay, so now the truncate target table. The truncate the target table. That means I'm loading the data. Before loading the data, I want to truncate the table yes or no. Before loading the data, I want to truncate the data. And delete rows. What is the meaning of delete rows? The delete rows means, so I want to delete rows from the target table before loading this mapping. So we can stop these operations. We can stop these operations, or we can control the mapping flow behavior. So we can insert hint, we can select a hint, we can pass a create target table, truncate target table, and delete all table. The delete all rows from the table. Everybody is a clear? Knowledge module options, we can control this operation. So this is the small description of the knowledge module, component style and everything. Everybody is a clear? Yes or no, please? Create target table. So do you want to create the target table? Yes or no? Truncate the target table. I want to truncate the data before loading of the mapping. Delete all table. Deletes all rows from the table before inserting. Yes or no? So these are the operation values we can pass it. Everybody is a clear, please? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Rohit, Shashank, Shrikar. ఎవరండి ఈ HTML5 యూజరు? HTML5 యూజర్ ఎవరండి అతను? పేరు? Okay. So now once you set all the target table, mappings, knowledge modules, integration, and everything is there. So then we are validate the mapping. See here this check box. Okay, validate the mapping. So I want to validate it. So here, so the mapping success. That means a successful validation. So my mapping is right. It's a validate. So there is no syntax error or something. So that can be done with this mapping. Okay, so this is the validate the mapping. Okay, everybody? Okay, so now let's see. I want to run a mapping. How can I run a mapping? Mapping is created. Okay, so now I want to run it. Okay, so now, so right click this mapping and I can run it. Right click the mapping, I can run this mapping. Okay, whenever you click the right click and mapping and run it. So now it's going to ask what is the context for execution. What are the important points for executing a mapping? For ODI component execution, we need to specify the context. Okay, and then object. So what are we specifying here? We are specifying a context. The second one is a mapping. So the mapping, which mapping it is? The physical mapping. Physical mapping. And the third one is, it's the logical agent. Agent who is running the mapping? Agent. So the agent name. The logical agent name. Agent name who is responsible for running the mapping. So who is responsible for running the mapping? And finally, and the log level. Log level in the sense is how much detailed information we will specify. So the log level. Log level is per, so how much? So the mapping execution statistics. Execution statistics levels. Okay, how much level of mapping execution statistics will be prepared, the log level and everything. So now the simulation. What is this simulation? The simulation means, so the log level is 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The default is 5. That means, so the 0 means no log. 1 means only errors kind of thing. So this is the level. As the number increases, so the mapping level, so the details will be more. So 5 means more details will be loaded into the log tables. Okay, so the simulation means if you click the simulation, ODI won't execute the code. It only the code will be generated. ODI won't execute the mapping. It only generates the code. Okay, ODI won't execute the code simulation. So now I'm not specifying the simulation. I'm executing the mapping. Simulation means without executing the mapping, it's only generates the code. Without executing the mapping, it generates a code. Now click OK. So the session started. So the session means session started. So the mapping execution started. So what is the component we will be using for monitoring the running jobs? What is the component we will be using for running the components? What is the component we will be using for running the components? What part of ODI will be used for
Operator.
running? What is that one?
Operator.
Operator. Go to the operator.
Operator.
Yes. Operator. Go to the operator. So now did the designer. From the designer, we executed, we run the map. Okay, so now go to operator and go to the user and then see the username and then see the session information. So the session 331 is your session number. So every mapping or every component whatever you run, it creates a one session number. So the 331 a mapping started. Okay, see here. So this is the completely execute. All parts are executed successfully. Now you can see the go to the SQL developer ODI target. I loaded the data into tables. So I loaded the data into employees underscore target table. See the data. See here data loaded. Data loaded in my target table. 107 rows got loaded. Everybody is clear? So the simple mapping which loads the data we can see. Okay, so the mapping number, you can see the mapping, how this mapping executes. See here. Okay, so the record statistics, so the duration in 1 second it's mapping completed. Okay, the context, the logical agent. So because here, as we have not created the logical agent, whenever I'm clicking this run, okay, so I am specifying a logical local no agent. No agent means from the studio, ODI studio, from the client point of view, we can have a one single agent that's responsible for our running from our local machines. But whenever you are running in the server, we need to specify the agent name. We need to specify agent name that we will see in our next classes. How do you specify the agent and everything? Not in the next class, maybe in the next week. Agent. So the agent. So here we will select the agent name. That's it. But right now, as long as we are practicing and as long as in this testing phase and the development phase, we can run the mapping with the local agent. The local agent means that is your agent. It comes with the ODI studio that is for our testing purpose. Agent. And total number of inserts, the total number of updates, the total number of deletes, total number of errors, the total number of success. Okay, so now within this session, so this is the session name. From operator, this is the session. So what are the steps it executed? What are the steps it executed? It executed, these are the steps. Serial step, main step, and then cleanup step. So mapping, the mapping execution. So the mainly contains three parts. Mapping begin, and mapping main, and mapping cleanup. In the mapping begin, it creates some necessary important code. So this is your mapping main. But here, okay, it's not used any of your target table and everything. See here, this is your directly it is importing into target table. So here I'm not using any of your $, $I tables. Why it is not created the $, $I tables is, so the knowledge module we used here is the most efficient one, Oracle insert one. And so with sources and targets are on the same server. See, the database is the same database. We have the same database, but the different schema. Okay, so here from HR schema employees table, so we have a 107 rows. These 107 rows we are loading into different schema. We are not using any other database. That's why it's created without creating any $, $I tables. The mapping executed successfully. Okay, so in the mapping begin, it creates all the necessary tables. The mapping main is responsible for running all your code, and the serial main, the mapping cleanup means it executes all the created object and temporary objects will be dropped in your mapping cleanup process. Everybody is it clear? So mapping main, in the mapping begin, map main and map cleanup. In the begin, it creates necessary objects. In the main, it creates the flow. The complete mapping execution will be done in the mapping cleanup, and then in the cleanup process, it cleans all the data. Everybody is it clear? Yes or no, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if any particular step fails, let's see here. So I want to see the what code it is generated. Double click this code. Okay, so now see here plus sign. So expand this. Okay, now expand this. So here the load employees target table. So we can see what code it is generated. So it's generated the code like this. This is the code it's generated by ODI without any this one. See, this is the code ODI generated. Okay, this is the code ODI generated. And if you want to see, this is this one. So this is the code it is generated. Create database link. So it created this database link. So how this code, where this code executed, this command executed on what connection? So you can see this in a connection information. This connection is executed in the source connection and the target connection. Everybody is clear? So this is the code it executed. So the topology Oracle localhost data. So this is the source connector executes on this one. Everybody is clear, please? Yes or no, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mahendra, sorry, Devendra, Praneet, Rohit, Shashank, Shiva.
Yes, sir.
This is the complete mapping development. A simple map without any much complexity. I want everybody to practice up to this level. Okay, I will be sending one email. So we need to create a users. Okay, we need to create. So we have on your machines, you have a SQL developer. So open the SQL developer. Open the SQL developer. Okay, so it contains a one connection, local Oracle DB. So that connection contains you see these properties. So it has a system and Oracle, localhost ORCL and SID is Oracle. So the system, all the passwords is be set it to system. System, username is system and password is Oracle. Okay, so now connect this. I'm connecting to this one. Okay, so now here we need to create some users. So we need to practice it, right? We need to create it. We already have a HR user. HR user is already there in your server. If you can check it. Once you connected to this local host, go to other users, you will see a HR user. You will see a HR user. So we don't need to create the HR user. Okay. So now, one second. I will send this everybody one important information. ODI classes. Okay, so we have to execute this command. So once you connected, okay, you have to execute this command. So first I'm creating even target user. ODI work user, and I'm granting these 3 roles to the ODI target. After creating, I'm creating a tables. Okay, tables. Everybody is clear?
Yes, sir.
So we need to execute this command for your practice. This is not required. So one thing is open the SQL developer on your machines. Okay, right click the connection you have. It's done. It's created this connection. Okay, so from here execute these commands. Create user, ODI target, identified by ODI target, ODI work, ODI, everything is executed. So what it will do is it creates a target user and it creates a work user and it creates some tables, empty tables in the here. Okay, now we have to use ODI target as the target schema and HR is your source schema. Once that this script, once this all the commands executed successfully, we have to create a connection. New connection, ODI target. Please execute this command, ODI target. So the username is ODI target, password is ODI target. So localhost 1521 and database SID is ORCL. Now test it. Click save password. Connect it. You will see it. After successful creation, you will see these tables. But before creating these connections and everything, we need to execute these commands. You need to execute these commands compulsory. So once this is done, okay, create a different connection for ODI work. New connection, ODI work, ODI work, ODI work. And here localhost, and we can see a ORCL. That's your test. That's ORCL is your name. Localhost 1521 ORCL. So the connection save password and connect it. Okay. Similarly, now from here change the password of a user. This one. So alter a user HR. Alter user HR identified by HR. So you can use this command for changing the password of your user. Okay. So this can be executed. Save. Now the HR user can be created. New connection and HR and HR. And here is ORCL. Now test it. Okay, I changed the password, but save. Okay, HR user, it will work. I think what I did for HR is for HR I used the Oracle earlier one. That's why it's not connected. Success. See here, now three users created. Now you can create a 3 physical schemas, 3 topology servers, reverse engineering, and create the mapping. That's for tomorrow's assignment. So whatever we did so far, you need to practice with this one. The only thing we need to do is you already have a HR user, so only you can change the password by executing this command, and from the local Oracle DB connection, that is your local Oracle DB connection, create these users. I'm using ODI target is the target user, ODI is work is your staging schema, and I'm granting the necessary privileges. I'm creating some empty tables in the this one, so those tables will be used for our mapping purposes. Everybody is clear, please? Yes or no? ఏమైనా అర్థమైందా ఏం చేయాలో రేపటికి?
Yes, sir.
రేపటికి క్లాస్ కావాలా రేపు ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తారా రేపు ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తారా క్లాస్ కావాలా
Practice. Will practice.
okay so don't miss it please go through all the classes and please practice this one so I will send these commands in the email to everyone okay
Okay, sir.
okay sir see you tomorrow
Okay.
okay please practice it very important practice is very important if you don't practice that is of no use okay
Okay.
please practice if you have any issues you can call me at any time okay
Okay, sir.
okay sir see you tomorrow not tomorrow in the Monday class please practice
Monday.
and everything is clear
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sending
Thank
that commands
Thank you.
okay sir bye
Sir.